We need to talk about Jason Lee for a minute. Now, people either love him or hate him because he's used some pretty shady journalistic tactics in the past, and I'm honestly not even sure we can call what he does journalism anymore. But this time, he's gone just a little too far and straight over into mafia boss tactics. He's actually so delulu that he went and blackmailed Our Lady and Mistress Queen Bey. Apparently, he asked Beyonce for something, and he's got the audacity to threaten to leak the receipts about something if she doesn't deliver. And Beyonce's sister, Solange, is not having it. So what does Jason want? What does Jason have? And how is Solange reacting to all this? Get comfy, and I'll tell you all about it. Jason Lee really wants Kelly Roland to come on his show. He wants her on his show so bad that he's desperate at this point. Here's what's going on. A few days ago, Jason Lee was trending because he went on a podcast and started dogging Beyonce. It wasn't because he wanted to experience unequivocal hatred and be cast out as a social pariah, or to put a violent and quick end to his career. Jason Lee stated that he's upset that Beyonce didn't invite him onto her Renaissance premiere. He says he and Beyonce have been friends and they go way back. I mean, there is photographic evidence of the two together, but there's pictures of Beyonce with a lot of people. That doesn't make them friends. Beyonce keeps a tight circle, and I just don't feel like someone as messy as Jason Lee would be in it, because it would make everybody nervous that he'd leak all their business. It's not like he hasn't spilled tea on his so-called friends before. Lee says he went to Beyonce's show 3 times and spent more than 40 grand on tickets, merch, and more, not just for him, but for his friends and family. And since he considers himself a member of Black leadership, he feels like she's not doing enough for the Black community by not inviting him.
I think optically, when you don't include other Black leaders in the culture in the fold, I mean, not just take me out of it. The Breakfast Club, I mean, you should have honored and brought more Black. And I spent thousands of over $40,000 in tickets and shared the experience with friends. And I've done a lot, and I'm not even going to say it here because if I did, this internet, Beyonce's good internet, would go crazy.
Now, never mind the thousands of other Black leaders who actually lead, who have spent untold thousands of dollars at Beyonce shows, but haven't been out here threatening and blackmailing her. Apparently, Jason Lee thinks he's somehow better and more influential than all of them, and that means Beyonce should do whatever he wants as a result.
So Jason Lee threatened Beyonce or Beyonce's team and her PR person. Allegedly. He's alleging he has receipts on them. He's upset because he didn't get invited to the Renaissance premiere, and I'm like, okay. He's claiming to be connected, and I'm like, if you were connected, you wouldn't be mad about it. And you wouldn't try to blackmail Beyonce, now would you?
By the way, since Beyonce's tour made so much money, she donated money both personally and through the Bay Good Foundation to LGBTQ+ and Black businesses around the world. So it's not like she's not helping disenfranchised people. She's just not giving Jason Lee the special treatment he apparently thinks he deserves. It's not like anyone made him spend 40 grand on Beyonce shows. He would have done that whether he knew Bay or not. She's got no obligation to him because he came to her shows and her premiere. And besides that, I bet if people started talking about how much they spent, there's probably people who spent even more than him. But the comments about Beyonce being anti-Black are interesting given the timing of them. On the day of her premiere, there was a lot of talk and speculation about Beyonce bleaching her skin to look lighter, and how much lighter she looks compared to when she first started her career. Just as the comments reached a fever pitch, Beyonce's mom Tina came to her defense. She does a film called The Renaissance, where the whole theme is silver with silver hair, a silver carpet, and suggested silver attire, and you bozos decide that she's trying to be a white woman and is bleaching her skin. Duh, she wore silver hair to match her silver dress as a fashion statement, clown. This girl minds her own business, she helps people whenever she can, she lifts up and promotes Black women and underdogs at all times. So, Jason Lee calling Beyonce anti-Black was a calculated move on his part. And don't think for a minute that he kept that tea he would blackmail Beyonce with to himself. On the podcast, he covered his mouth and had the editors bleep out what he was saying. But he spilled that tea to everyone there. And since it was a video, he made sure to ask the hosts to leave the reaction in.
Johnny puts a beep over this part of the show, so you'll never know what it is, but I want you to see their reactions, and I'm going to do it right now.
And after all that, he said that he and Beyonce are friends and support each other.
We're friends in the game. We support each other. We help each other out. Can you imagine had I put that on?
He talked about how much he loves her too.
She lifts up and promotes black women and underdogs all the times. So when Jason went on and on about how Beyonce was anti-black by not inviting black people to the premiere, y'all better believe that man knew what he was doing. And to prove that he had the tea on Beyonce, he covered his mouth and spilled the tea to 2 other people in the room with him, but he bleeped it out so we wouldn't hear.
Honestly, I'm really glad he's not my friend out there telling people my business like that. But that friendship is definitely one-sided. Beyonce hasn't responded to any of this. And the only time they're even in the room together is at Hollywood events, which he only gets into because he's on the press list. There's a video of him that went viral one time where he walked up to Bey at an event and she hightailed it the other direction. That's not something friends normally do, Jason. And then in the interview, he says he's going to drop receipts for whatever tea he spilled that was bleeped out if Beyonce didn't convince Kelly Roland to go on his show.
The receipts, I still have the receipts. Yvette, no, I got the receipts. I got them.
She needs to know.
And I think people like her publicist, who I love, and I'm just being critical. That's just what I do. You know that, Yvette. We're trying to book Kelly Roland right now. Now, if I don't get Kelly Roland because I say this about, then it's going to be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
The fires that will come of that.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now, I'm not playing this industry game.
This man literally blackmailed Beyonce to get Kelly Roland. It's the audacity and the entitlement from this man for me. I mean, Kelly and Beyonce have been friends for so long, but that doesn't make Beyonce Kelly's manager. She can't just control Kelly Roland and tell her she has to do an interview with Jason Lee. And honestly, if I were Kelly, I wouldn't be inclined to go on his show. Especially not since he's out here blackmailing my friends trying to get to me. Like I said, Beyonce doesn't do messy. She's private, and Jason is all about being messy. Sure, that's amusing as hell for a lot of us, and there are a lot of celebrities that want that sort of exposure, but Beyonce's not about that. More than that, Jason is petty AF. If other shows get celebrities to sit down with him and he doesn't, he'll trash talk them. He recently just called Jennifer Hudson illiterate because she got Jeannie Mae on her show and he didn't.
Is now speaking out on her unexpected divorce from Jeezy. And she went on the Jennifer Hudson show because that's where you go when you want to get your word across, I guess. Damn. Yeah, we all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. Well, look.
He literally just called an EGOT winner illiterate. And he stood on it too. He got on X and said, "In case y'all didn't hear me, Jennifer Hudson is a horrible talk show host. She's a great singer, a good actress, a beautiful mom, but horrible at talking. None of you watch her show, but you fake mad. GTFOH." People weren't happy about that either.
Decided to go on Jennifer Hudson's show instead, and Jason got his little itty bitty feelings hurt over this, and he shaded Jennifer, calling her illiterate.
Is now speaking out on her unexpected divorce from Jeezy. And she went on the Jennifer Hudson show because that's where you go when you want to get your word across, I guess. Damn. Yeah, we all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. Well, look.
It's the complete audacity of this man to call the Jennifer Hudson an EGOT winner illiterate. It's just wild, y'all. And this led people to start talking about how he can't handle rejection and how he needs to check his emotion when he doesn't get his own way, because this baby fit saltiness is not it. He then went on Twitter to say, "In case all didn't hear me, Jennifer Hudson is a horrible talk show host. She's a great singer, a good actress, a beautiful mom, but a horrible at talking. None of you watch her show, but you fake mad. Get the F out of here." So like I said, Jason gets in his feelings whenever he feels slighted, and that's why he came for Beyonce like that. But even though the beehive is coming for him, a lot of people can't help but wonder what the tea is that he has on Beyonce. Because if the tea is spicy enough for him to try to blackmail Beyonce and get Kelly on his show, then you gotta know that tea must be spicy as F. Well, the streets are now saying that the tea he has on Beyonce has to do with her alleged drug use. There are speculations that Jason could have come across some evidence about how Beyonce could have allegedly been using drugs during her Renaissance show. Now, y'all keep in mind that this is just a speculation and nothing has been confirmed yet. But then the rumors of Beyonce allegedly using drugs aren't exactly new, because they've been around for a while now. Earlier this year, a couple people claimed that they had inside information that showed that Jay-Z was allegedly feeding Beyonce drugs to keep her under his control. Earlier this year, Beyonce's former bodyguard Ron came out to claim that Jay-Z was allegedly keeping her drugged up so that she could remain under his control.
See, hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs.
She been on him for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Now, you might be wondering what sort of tea Jason has that could be hot enough to use to blackmail an international sensation like Beyonce. People have been talking and they think it's about her supposed drug use. And they think Jason has proof that Beyonce allegedly was on drugs during her Renaissance performance. Keep in mind, I'm not the one saying this, so please don't kill the messenger. But honestly, the rumors about Bey doing drugs have been circulating for a while. Early this year, some insiders came forward with a story that Jay-Z supplied Beyonce with illicit substances so he could control her. One of these insiders was Beyonce's former bodyguard, Ron.
See, hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Who's you? Supposedly was talking to Jay-Z there. Now, people think that both Jay and Bey are hooked on drugs. And it's not like it took a quantum leap to jump to that conclusion. Jay-Z has been pretty transparent about the fact that he used to deal drugs back in the day. And people think that if he wanted to get Bey hooked and use the drugs to control her, he's probably got the skills and experience to make it happen. Check out this video of Beyonce and Jay-Z at a basketball game together.
In addition, Fred was a key player in helping the Fox team's future.
People think she looks really spaced out. Jaguar Wright has spilled tea about Jay-Z and Beyonce too. And while celebrities are usually mad at her for dishing all their dirt, she's never been sued by them. And she's not often wrong. Listen to what she has to say.
A monster. And I've known he's a monster for years. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in the cabinet.
No, girl.
She also says we should start a Free Beyonce movement, much like the Free Britney movement, because Beyonce is similarly trapped.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about Free Britney, y'all need to be doing a campaign that say Free Beyonce.
The Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
If Beyonce is in prison, she's in one of the most expensive prisons ever.
Yes, she is. And she's watched 24 hours a day. She's not allowed to make a choice for herself, not at all, not in any way. People think she has an amazing life. She is told what to say, she is told what to eat, she is told what to drink, she is told what to wear.
By whom?
She is not her husband's wife, she is his employee. It's a business arrangement. She was a dowry.
People think this might be the tea that Jason has on Beyonce. If you thought having all of Beyonce's fans, which is pretty much the entire population of the earth at this point, being mad at you was bad enough, Solange said, "Hold my beer," and entered the chat. And if there's one thing I know for sure, you don't want either of the Knowles sisters being mad at you. Even Jay-Z walks the line with Solange because he's pissed her off before and got a black eye. She literally gives no Fs. And she's of the opinion that anyone can catch those hands. And when it comes to Beyonce, Solange will defend her tooth and toenail. So I wouldn't want to be Jason Lee right now. An insider said that Solange didn't have any nice words for Jason and called him some names that I can't say here. And the insider claimed that Solange threatened to hurt Jason if he even thinks about releasing info on Beyonce. She doesn't fully believe he's actually got any dirt on Beyonce and that he's bluffing so he can get a sit down with Kelly Roland. But Solange isn't ruling out the possibility that Jason could be making something up to hurt Beyonce's reputation. And she's not here for it. And other people are ticked at him too. Check this out. Beyonce didn't tell you to spend $40K on tickets. You did that thinking it was going to get you something from Beyonce. Not. If you're really a friend, you wouldn't have to buy tickets. Whether he knows something or not, he's delusional AF. Beyonce is not his friend, and she does not need him for anything. He really believes that he's way more important than he is. Jason Lee believes that friends should be purchasable, that image is everything, and that money is influence and power. He's a confused, hurt, bitter, entitled, envious individual with abandonment issues. I quit him and anything solely and directly for, by, of him nearly a decade ago. The thirst for relevancy and fame is dangerous. So do you think that Jason Lee really has dirt on Beyonce? Do you think that if he does have tea, it's about Jay-Z keeping her drugged up and captive, like Jaguar Wright claims? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll be back here soon with another video.